Alright, let's get this live stream started. Had to get a couple other things done earlier today, but let's tilt the camera a little bit that way, get a little bit more of the radios rather than me in there. See if we can hear anybody on here. Is this frequency in use? This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Is this frequency in use? This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. God, that white screen really blows out the camera there. I try to keep it off of it just for that reason. Is this frequency in use? This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. I feel like I hear somebody trying to come back on that one. We'll skip over a little bit. Hello to anybody joining. See a couple people joining in there. We'll get started here in a little bit. Just gotta find something not so noisy. Get a little on the edge of the band there. Just a little bit. Hey Todd, how's it going? You should be able to hear me now. Oh, still got Alex on. Okay. We'll wait real quick, that's fine. Alex has got a big old crew in there. Is this frequency in use? This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Nothing heard from this end. Please relay if there is anyone. This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Hey Andy, how's it going today? Alright, CQ20, CQ20, CQ20. This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. CQ, CQ, CQ. Anyone, anywhere from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. CQ, CQ, CQ. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. N5WXW calling anyone, anywhere from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Andy, how are things going today? It's been a pretty good day over here. It's a little cloudy and a little on the chilly side. It's 33 degrees Fahrenheit for us. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. N5WXW calling CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Yeah, 5 people in here. Good gosh. It really is a good weekend. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. N5WXW calling CQ on 20 meters. This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey calling CQ, CQ, CQ. From November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey calling CQ. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. CQ and standing by. Yeah, Todd, I could barely hear Alex today. He's got to have his, he's just about going to have his urban beam there pointed and just, he doesn't even necessarily have to have it pointed at me. It's almost, he got more of a read from me when it was pointed south. and I'm well north of him, so for some reason on the back end of his beam, he gets a better reception from me. But if he's pointed directly in my right in my direction, I can't hear him. I think he just overshoots me. Yeah, I wanted to move up a little bit away from him because there's some stations between him and this frequency. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey N5WXW, calling CQ, anyone, anywhere for November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Yeah, I was kind of worried about that. I tried to start out the stream a little bit. Well, first of all, I was trying to start the stream a little bit earlier to try and get a little work in on 20, but unfortunately it's kind of noisy. But yeah, the tower camera looks a lot better during the day. I know I've been streaming it a lot at night there, and you can't really see much out of it except when it's raining, so... And then you could just see the rain, and that's about it. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey N5WXW, calling CQ, 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 anyone, anywhere from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Oops. Yeah, I have not heard anybody on this frequency, so as always, I'm trying not to step on any toes. Okay, thanks, yeah. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's just below the top of the tower. So the tower's not super tall, but as you can see, my shop out there is pretty tall itself, and there's an RV actually parked to the left of it, so... CQ20, 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 anyone, anywhere for November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. Well, it's good to hear. I'm not the only one having noise and propagation issues. Well, I don't know if Alex is necessarily having propagation issues, but I know that people aren't necessarily hearing each other very well, so... It's just that time of year, I guess. Normally it's pretty good, but... Has he moved down to 40 just yet, or is he still up on 20 there, Todd? Thank you, everybody, for joining in today. I've not really... The only time I've ever experienced pile-ups, or a real pile-up, is during field day, and that was so much fun and so exhilarating. Because you're constantly just, you know, throwing call letters out like crazy. You're writing them down, you're logging it just non-stop. It's a lot of fun. I've never done that from home, though. Okay, gotcha. I may have to scroll down there here in a minute. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey N5WXW, calling CQ, 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 anyone, anywhere for November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Yeah, I had his frequency on, and I could just barely pick him up through the noise. I knew that he was on air. That was about all that I could tell. I couldn't really hear what he was saying very well, but I could also hear a couple other stations, but not many. Todd, whenever Alex was streaming, so I think I got some of the descriptions of my live streams down a little bit better. I've got kind of a general document to copy and paste. I've got K5YVY, Whiskey 7 Hotel Uniforms channels in there. My Twitter, trying to think of anything else besides. I need to put my QRZ page on there. That way, people don't have to go to QRZ.com and look it up. They can just click on that link instead. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey N5WXW, calling CQ, 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 anyone, anywhere for November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey, calling CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Yeah, if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to join the Zoom meeting and I'll try and make a couple more calls here, but just to see what I can do. But yeah, if that doesn't work, then I may just scroll over there. I tried joining the Zoom meeting a little bit earlier, but then I didn't realize that I had speakers, or I don't have speakers for the computer on here. I just have them for the radio. So CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey calling CQ, CQ, CQ. From November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey, CQ20, CQ20, CQ20. Anyone, anywhere. November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Yeah, I may have to jump on my other computer to do a Zoom meeting with them. Either that, or I'm going to plug up the speakers into my computer. That way, I can do it from over here and listen to them at the same time. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 from November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Anyone, anywhere for November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. CQ, CQ, CQ. Anyone, anywhere. This is November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Yeah, Todd, the good thing is if you've got a good video card, you can just take one computer and then put a graphics card in it. Okay, sounds good, Todd. But yeah, you can put a graphics card in it and put multiple displays on it. Nothing heard for November 5 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. I will be QRT the frequency. Alright, I think I'm going to scroll down here. Sounds like a net on 14.320. I believe that is the frequency that Whiskey 7 Hotel Uniform is on right now. I'm going to look up his live stream over here and see what. Alright guys, thanks for joining. I think I'm going to get off of the stream here and jump on to Alex's Zoom meeting real quick, but I'll try and be back later on. So thanks for watching if you're on here, and we'll be back later on though.